Main idea. What is the main idea? Main idea is what a text is mostly about. When you read a story, you will ask yourself, what did I read about? The main idea is what is the text about. It is the point the author is trying to make. Sometimes, when the authors are writing a story, they want to teach you some kind of a lesson. And the lesson or message that you learn from the story, it's a main idea. Please, I need to make sure that you understand one thing. There are different kinds of main ideas. The main idea we take now in grade 2 is the main idea of a fiction, made up story. Because there are also main ideas for non-fiction stories, the stories that give us information, and those kind of main ideas are a little bit different. So, the main idea we're taking now is the main idea of a story that is made up, a fiction. So, main idea is what the story is mostly about, what kind of point the author wants to teach you. So, when you're reading a story, ask yourself, what is the text teaching me? What kind of a lesson what the author wants to give me? What does he want to tell me? What should I remember after I finish reading this kind of story? And that message or that sentence, the most important sentence in the story, is the main idea. Usually, main idea is written in the first sentence or the last sentence of the story. But sometimes, and I'm saying sometimes, you need to make up your own idea. You need to think, what could the main idea be? You can express the main idea in your own words. So, once again, main idea is the most important sentence in the story. It could be at the beginning, in the first sentence, or in the last sentence. It tells me what is the story about, or what did I learn from the story. And that will be the main idea. Now listen to a short story that I want to tell you, and then we will think of the main idea. Once there was a little ant. The little ant wanted to drink a water. So he leaned down and tried to drink water, but he fell in the water. He fell in the water. He was calling for help. Help! Help! Somebody help me! And the dove that was above in the tree on the branch heard the little ant calling for help. The dove acted very quickly. He took a leaf and dropped it down in the water. The little ant jumped on the leaf and swam to the safety to the shore of the river. So the dove saved ant's life, right? The ant said thank you to the dove. And he said, maybe one day I can repay you. Few days later, little ant saw a hunter who wanted to kill the dove. The little ant acted very quickly. He ran to the hunter and bit him in his toe. The hunter screamed and dropped his gun. The dove heard the noise and flew away. You see, the little ant saved the dove's life. So, what did you learn from this story? What is the main idea teaching you? from that story about the ant and the dove. I've learned that when you help somebody, maybe one day they will help you back, right? Did it happen in your life? Did you ever help your friend and then another day your friend helped you back? This is the lesson that I learned from the story. This is the main idea of the story. It's called One Good Deed Deserves Another. If somebody helps you, you should help them back. So that is the main idea of the story. If you want to find the main idea in the passage, ask yourself, what is the story about? You will tell the story, summarize the story in your own words, like I just did the story about the ant and the dove, okay? Then you will see where is the first sentence and last sentence. Sometimes the main idea is stated. Sometimes the author writes the main idea in the first sentence or in the last sentence. Sometimes the author does not write the main idea. In that case, you need to tell the main idea in your own words. And sometimes the words or ideas that repeat help you to find the main idea. Let's just have a little practice. Here we have to find the main idea. Spots the barn cat. Spots was a large gray and white cat. Spots lived in a barn on a farm. Spots liked living in the barn. It was warm in the winter and cool in the summer. There were many mice for Spots to chase. Best of all, Spots had a soft place to sleep in the corner of the barn. First of all, if you want to find the main idea, ask yourself, what is the story about? The story is about Spots. Second question you will ask yourself, what does the author want me to know about Spots? Does he want me to know that barn was dirty? Or that Spots was gray and white? Or that the barn was a good place for Spots to live? Or that Spots often slept outside when it rained? Of course, the author wants to tell me that Spots was very happy to live in the barn. So C is the correct answer. The barn was a good place for Spots to live. The story is about Spots, and he is very happy cat living in the barn. So C is the main idea of this story. Now we are going to read a story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. There was once a young shepherd boy who tended his sheep at the mountains near a dark forest. It was quite lonely for him all day, so he made a plan how to get some fun and excitement. Look at the picture. That is a shepherd boy. The shepherd boy who tended his sheep. He took care of the sheep up in the mountains near the dark forest. He felt very lonely. All day long he was far away from village, so he felt so lonely that he made up a plan. He wanted to have some fun and some excitement. What did he do? He rushed down towards the village, calling out, "Wolf! Wolf!" And people came out to meet him, and some of them stopped to chat with him for some time. You see, he called for people, "Wolf! Wolf!" and the people came up to him and they stopped for a while and they chat with him. This made the boy happy, and few days later he tried the same trick. Again, people came running for help, but there was no wolf. You see, Again he was bored. So once again he played a trick on people. He called wolf, wolf, and people came running up to the mountains, and there was no wolf. He went down the mountains angrily. They stopped for a while, they chatted, and he liked that. But what happened few days later? Few days later, the real wolf came out of the forest. The boy ran down to the village calling for help. Wolf! 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 He called louder and louder and louder, but no one listened. Can you see? The real wolf came and he ran down to the village, but people ignored him. He did not listen. This time, people who had been fooled twice before thought the boy was playing trick again, and they would not listen. The wolf ate many of boy's sheep, and when the boy complained, the wise men of the village said, "A liar will not be believed, even when he speaks the truth." End of the story. So you see, the real wolf came, and when the boy called for help, no one came. No one listened, because the boy lied twice before, and people did not believe him. So the wolf killed the sheep. The sheep. Now, I will go to questions, but I will continue in the second PowerPoint.